All right, get ready for a pretty wild ride through space and time. Today, we've got this incredible story for you called Benson's Unbelievable Story. And trust me, you are not going to believe what happens to the main character. So, yeah, let's just dive right in.
Okay, just picture this for a second. You're an astronaut, right? You're floating out there in that silent, totally dark, endless space. And then, boom, you're lost. And I'm not talking for a day or even a week. We're talking 60 years. I mean, what would even happen to you? Well, that's the huge mystery we're going to unpack today.
So let's meet our guy, Commander Patrick Benson. He's the brave captain of this super cool, powerful spaceship, the X-9. He and his crew, they're on this big mission, exploring the super far out parts of the galaxy. Sounds like a dream job, right? But they're about to find out that space isn't just full of stars. It's full of surprises and some serious danger.
All of a sudden, this loud alarm just starts blaring, completely shattering the quiet on the ship. One of Benson's officers runs in with some really bad news. Something is broken on the outside of the ship, and it's getting worse by the second. And guess what? The only way to fix it is to go outside, into space. It's super dangerous, but Benson, being the hero he is, says, "I'll do it," without even thinking twice.
So Benson gets his spacesuit on and steps out into that huge, empty darkness. He hooks up his safety cable, his tether, and starts working. But right when he's almost done, the worst possible thing happens. The cable just snaps. He goes flying off into space, tumbling and tumbling with nothing to hold on to. And just before everything goes black, he thinks, well, this is it. This is the end. So 10 hours go by. Benson's eyes flutter open. But wait. He's not floating in space anymore. He's lying on some kind of table in this weird, really bright room. And he can tell he's not alone. Okay, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. He looks up, and there's this strange thing looming over him. It's tall, it's skinny, and it looks like nothing he could have ever imagined. So the big question is, right, has he been rescued? Or has he just been captured by something way, way worse? I mean, everything is on the line for Commander Benson right now. The alien starts to speak, but it's just noise. Benson can't understand a thing. But then, the alien puts this little machine next to his ear, and just like that, whoosh, he can understand everything they're saying. The alien says its name is Trowan, and that they're from a planet called Arconia. They tell him they just found him floating in space and decided to bring him aboard as a visitor. So the Arconians tell Benson they're super curious about humans, and they want to kind of study him to learn more. Benson thinks, okay, sure, I can help, and he ends up staying with them for years and years. He totally thinks he's just a guest, helping them out with their science project. But what he doesn't know is that the Arconians are hiding a secret, a really, really dark one. So after what feels like forever, Troyan finally tells her the truth. And it's awful. The Arconians weren't just curious. Nope. They were studying humans to find all our weaknesses, like we were some kind of disease. They were looking for the best way to come and conquer Earth. Benson wasn't a guest at all. He was basically a lab rat, helping them plan how to destroy humanity. And just like that, once they've learned everything they need, the Arconians are done with him. They just drop him back on Earth, like throwing away an old toy. He lands right in the middle of a huge, busy city that he doesn't recognize at all. So now, this guy who's literally from the past has to try and convince a world that doesn't even remember him that a massive alien invasion is coming. So let's just look at this timeline for a second, because it's pretty mind-blowing. On one side, you've got the moment Benson got lost on in space, and on the other side, his return to Earth. Now for Benson, it might have felt like, a few years, but for everyone back on Earth, it was an entire lifetime. 60 years. Let that sink in. A whole lifetime has passed by on Earth. So Benson, he looks exactly the same as the day he left. But the world he knew, it's gone. It's just a memory. All the people he loved are gone. His home, he wouldn't even recognize it. It's like he's a ghost walking through his own life. So he's just walking through this future city, totally lost, and then he sees something that makes him stop dead in his tracks. It's a giant statue of him. And there's a plaque on it that says, "To Commander Patrick Benson, Hero of Space." Can you even imagine? He's not just a person anymore. He's a legend, a story from the past. Okay, so Benson runs straight to the Space Center. He's got to tell them what's coming. He explains the whole crazy story to the new boss there, but the guy just looks at him with this mix of pity and worry. I mean, to the director, here's this guy who looks exactly like a hero from the history books, but he's telling this wild story about an alien invasion. It just sounds completely crazy. So, let's put you in his shoes, okay? You are the only one on the entire planet who knows about this horrible danger that's coming. You're a famous hero from history, but everyone around you just thinks you've lost your mind. Nobody believes a word you say. So, what do? What's your next move?
Wow, what a cliffhanger, right? So before we think about what happens next, let's make sure we really get this whole story. We're going to go over some of the most important words and phrases that really make it pop.
Okay, first up is spaceship. Super simple. It's basically a vehicle, like a car or a bus, but it's built to travel in space, between planets and stuff. Commander Benson's ship, the X-9, was pretty much his home before that whole terrible accident happened. All right, next we have capital city. So every country has one of these. It's the main city, the most important one, usually where the government works. Just try to imagine how shocked Benson was when he suddenly appeared right in the middle of Earth's capital city, and it looked completely different. Okay, let's talk about a key action word, to connect. This just means to join two things together. Remember at the beginning of the story? Benson had to connect that safety cable to his spacesuit. That connection was supposed to keep him safe, but then it broke. Now this next one is huge for the story. To take over. When you take something over, you take control of it, and usually not in a nice way. This was the aliens' real plan all along. They didn't just want to study Earth. They wanted to take over the whole planet. Okay, what about hero? A hero, or a heroine if it's a woman, is someone who is super brave and does amazing things that people admire. For 60 years, that's what everyone on Earth thought about Commander Benson. He was this great hero of space. And our last one for this section is nonsense. You use this word when an idea is just, well, silly, or something you really don't believe is true. When Benson tried to warn everyone about the aliens, the boss at the Space Center just said, "That's nonsense." He thought it was a completely crazy story. All right, let's quickly go through a few more cool words. A hoax is like a trick to make people believe something fake. The boss probably thought Benson's story was just a big hoax. An investigation is when you try to find out the truth about something, which is what they should be doing. To destroy means to break something so completely it's gone. That's what the aliens might do to our cities. To kidnap is to take someone away when they don't want to go, which is pretty much what the aliens did to Benson. And finally, a crew is just the team that works on a ship, kind of like an airplane crew works on a plane.
And that's where we leave him, a hero from the past, facing a totally impossible situation. I mean, how do you save a world that thinks you're crazy? The future of every single person on Earth is in his hands. So what do you think happens next? Thanks for hanging out with me for this story.